Hello and welcome back to my channel Under the Avo Tree. My name is Aoife and I hope you are doing well today. So today we're going to do more of like a tutorial style class. So we're going to go through sun salutation that would be done in hatha yoga. So there's a few different sun salutations. This is the standard hatha style, and then there's also sun salutation A and B, which would be used in vinyasa or ashtanga yoga. So we're going to break it down. We're going to go through each pose as we go through it, and then we're going to go through it all in a flow after having gone through it step by step. So if you are a beginner or you've been to studio classes and they've flown through it and you're like, what the hell's happening? This is the video for you to just break it down, kind of get your bearings, know what's going on, and then to be able to work with matching your breath with the movements. So this might be something you like to do, this video you might like to follow along a couple of times until you feel like, yeah, okay, I really know what's going on and I can move more in rhythm with the breath, matching each movement with an inhale or exhale. So to get started, we have our mat. We're going to start standing up. We're just going to dive straight into it. So we're standing first in mountain pose. You're going to keep your feet hip distance apart. Your hips are stepped over the ankles, shoulders over the hips. And the hands are reaching down towards the mat, palms facing the body. We're just going to tuck in the chin ever so slightly so you have a nice long back of the neck. And you're reaching up through the crown of the head. You're pressing the feet into the mat here, standing in mountain pose. So just take an inhale, take an exhale. We're going to inhale, bring the arms wide until they meet overhead, palms touching, looking up to the hands. You're still stacked, shoulders over hips, over ankles. Then as you exhale, you're going to hinge from the hips, lead with the chest to fold down to your forward fold. And the hands reach down to the mat. So your hands might not actually touch the mat, depending just on your hamstrings, flexibility of your hips. So if you're here hanging, just reaching the fingertips down. Otherwise, fingertips touch the mat. We're going to inhale to lift halfway to a flat back. So your spine is parallel to the mat. You're hinged up to hips here. Your hands can rest on the shins or they can rest on the thighs. Either way, you're trying to roll the shoulders down the back. You're looking down to the mat, so you're not looking forward. You're reaching through the crown of the head straight ahead. You have a little bend in the knees here as well. And then as an exhale comes, you fold back down to your forward fold. Let the head hang down. We're going to step back with our left foot as far as you can. Let the left knee come onto the mat. You can untuck the back toes. You're going to lift yourself up so your shoulders are stacked over the hips, and then you reach the hands up to the ceiling. So we're in our low lunge here. Now you might find this is very tender on your back knee. So if it is, you can fold over your mat like so. Give it a bit of extra cushion, or if you have a jumper or a blanket but nothing too like squishy, like not a super fluffy blanket if you get me, you can fold it over, put it under the knee just to give that bit of protection, especially like not so much when you're on the carpet like I am, but if you're on a mat on top of floorboards or tiles, you really might feel it there. So in our low lunge, you're pressing the sole of the right foot into the mat, and you're pressing the top of the back foot into the mat. You're trying to squeeze the legs together as if there's a line between the two. You're trying to squeeze, or like a pane of glass between the two. You're trying to squeeze that pane of glass with both sides of the legs. You're just going to take another inhale here. You're looking forward. Then we're going to exhale, take the hands down to frame that front foot, and you're stepping back to downward facing dog. So there's two ways you can do this. You can tuck the back toe under, lift the back knee, and then as you move the hips back, you're stepping the right foot back, hip distance apart from the left foot into your downward dog. Your other option, coming back to your low lunge, you can take that right knee back, so you're coming through a tabletop, tuck the toes under, send the hips back and up to the ceiling. So we'll just take a breath here in downward facing dog. Now in your downward facing dog, your feet are hip distance, your hands are shoulder distance. You're pressing the hands into the mat. You can take a bend in the knees just so you can really lift the hips up to the ceiling, feeling the spine lengthen. And then you reach the heels down to the mat to straighten the legs. Now your heels don't have to touch the mat. it might not be the case. Your heels might be up here, and that's totally fine. You're just feeling like you're reaching down through the heels. So you're feeling that stretch in the back of the legs. We're going to shift forward into plank from here. So you're going to move the hips, move the shoulders forward. So the shoulders come over the wrists. You might need to step the feet back just to get that full length of the body into plank. And you can lower the knees, lower the belly, lower the chest, coming all the way down. So as you're lowering down, your hands are shoulder distance. You're bending the elbows back so they come alongside the body. So they're not coming out to the side. As you lower down, letting the belly come down, the chest come down, elbows close to the body. Now there is also another option. So it's up to you, or you might be guided through one of the other in your classes. So the other option is that you keep your bum lifted up. You're still bringing the elbows alongside the body, but you're lowering the chest and the chin to the mat. Bum is staying raised up, and then you slide forward. So it's up to you really, or it's up to whoever's guiding your class. Also, if they're guiding you through that in your class, you can do the alternative, whichever you feel works better for your body. You don't have to do what they say. So you've lowered in onto the mat. So your toes are untucked now. You're pressing all 10 toes into the mat. So often our baby toes like to float up, trying to ground them down. The hands are either side of the chest, keeping the elbows close to the rib cage. And roll the shoulders down the back, and we'll lift the chest, look forward into cobra. And we're going to press into the hands. To lift yourself up through tabletop, you'll tuck the toes under, hips come back and up to the ceiling into your downward facing dog. So again, if you like, you can bend the knees just to lift the hips up and reach the heels back down. And in your downward dog, you're looking back towards the thighs or the knees. You're pressing the hands into the mat. So you're pressing them back down into the ground, and you might feel then the shoulders trying to move backwards. That's what you're looking for. And take an inhale here. Exhaling. You're going to look forward between the hands. You're going to step the left foot forward between the hands. Lowering the right knee down. Now this might not happen for you. So many people lift their foot forward, but it only comes halfway, and that is totally normal. You'd see most people, or at least half of the class, this is how they do it. And you can just, when you step that left foot forward, just getting it as far as you can reach, you can lower the back knee onto the mat. You just hold onto that ankle, step the foot forward. Might be more of a shuffle forward, whatever way you get your foot up to the top. Another way, so I generally just step the foot forward. You might find it's a little bit easier when you lift the leg up first, then look forward, bringing the knee towards the nose and then stepping the foot forward. You can also come onto the left fingertips, creates a bit of space for you to get that leg forward. So just having a bit of a play maybe at home when you're not in the middle of a class, and seeing kind of what variations help you to get that leg forward. But it's also perfect just to get the foot as far as it can go and shift it up. So whenever you've made it to your low lunge, your back knee is down, your back toes are untucked. Now it may also be that you find it very uncomfortable like this, and you can tuck under the toes if you find, especially around the knee area, if that's a bit more comfortable. Wherever you are, lifting the fingertips up, looking forward. Let's take one more inhale. Exhale, take the hands down to frame the foot. And you're going to step forward, so you can tuck under the back toes, lift the back knee, and then bounce that foot forward. Bring in again hip distance between the feet into your forward fold. And you can check this. You can take 2 fists together, place them between the big toes, and that's your hip distance, or their width. We're going to inhale to lift halfway once again, so spine parallel to the mat. Tucking in the chin, looking down to the mat. And exhale, folding back down. So the hips are reaching up to the ceiling, head hanging down to the mat. And then really pressing, grounding into the feet. You can even take a little bit of a bend into the knees. Inhale, take the arms widen overhead, palms to touch, looking up. And exhale, the hands back down to the heart. Going to release the hands down by the side. So that is the first half of our sun salutation. So if you notice, maybe not if you're trying to, take everything in. We stepped back at the very beginning after we folded forward. We did our half lift, we folded again. We stepped back with our left leg, and then we continued through the poses. We came to downward dog, and when we came back to our lunge, we stepped forward with our left leg and lowered the back knee, and then came through the poses until we were standing again. So that is considered the first half. The second half, we step back with the right leg this time. Once we go through the other poses in the sequence and we come back to our our lunge, we step forward with the right leg. And once you've done all that, that's considered the whole sun salutation. So it's that we want to have balance between both sides. So you've had a turn of stepping back with the left leg, you've had a turn of stepping back with the right leg. You've had a turn of stepping forward with the right leg, a turn stepping forward with the left leg. So you're beautifully balanced, not overworking one side compared to the other. So we'll go through the other half of our sun salutation. It's the same poses, so we might focus a bit more just on the breath this time. So coming into your mountain pose, roll the shoulders down the back, looking forward. I'm going to take an inhale here. Exhaling. And the inhale, take the arms wide and overhead, palms to touch, looking up. Exhale, hinge at the hips, folding down until the hands are reaching down towards the mat or the fingertips are on the ground. Letting the head hang down. Then inhale to lift halfway, hands come onto the shins. Again, see, can you roll the shoulders down the back, keeping the gaze down so the back of the neck is long. Exhale, folding down once again. Then inhale and step back with your right leg as far as you can, lowering the right knee onto the mat and untucking the toes or keeping the toes tucked depending on just your knee comfort levels, and then lifting the fingertips up. So we're once again back in our low lunge. So you're trying to squeeze the legs together. You're reaching up through the fingertips, but just checking you're not scrunching the shoulders up towards the ears. So you just want to have the shoulders relaxed down the back, plenty of space between the ears and shoulders. And now you can see if you can maybe shift the hips forward a little bit. Sinking forward, deepening the stretch into the front of the right hip. And we're making sure our left knee is stacked over the ankle. So if your knee is passing it out, you might need to step back the foot. Sorry, if your knee is passing out, you might need to shift forward the foot. And if it's back, you can see maybe if you can shift the hips forward, or you can walk the foot back a little bit. Taking one more inhale. Well, exhale, reach the hands down and forward and down even. Tuck the back toes, lifting the front leg to your downward facing dog, or coming through that tabletop variation I showed you earlier. Just take one inhale here and one exhale. You're going to shift forward into our plank, so rolling the shoulders forwards, stepping back the feet if you need to. Your hips here are in line with the shoulders, so you don't want your hips sagging down. You don't want your hips piking up. So if you have a mirror somewhere in the house, you can always give it a little go in front of the mirror. You can ask somebody to have a look while you're doing it. You're reaching back through the heels and you're pressing the hands into the mat. And take one more inhale. Exhale, lower the knees, and then your choice, either belly, chest, and chin, or keeping the bum lifted and lowering the chin and chest and sliding forward. Either way, you untuck the toes, press the tops of the feet into the mat, and inhale, lift the chest, looking forward. Exhale, press into the hands, moving back through tabletop, tucking under the toes, lifting the hips up to the ceiling. Inhaling here, exhaling. Look forward between the hands. Inhale to step that right foot forward. So if you like to come on the right fingertips to give you a bit more space, or if you prefer lifting the leg up and then swinging it forward. And again, if you get halfway or 3/4 of the way, just grabbing onto the heel, shifting the foot up. Or untucking the back toes, lifting the fingertips up. So once again, just checking your knee isn't passing out the ankle, walking the foot forward if you need to, or the opposite, if the knee is back a bit, maybe walking the foot back, or seeing can you sink the hips a little forward. Trying to relax the face, maybe smiling as you look forward. We'll do one more inhale. Exhale, reach the hands forward and down, tucking the back toes under, lifting the back knee to bounce the leg forward into your forward fold. We'll inhale, lifting halfway. Exhale to fold. Inhale, take the arms wide and overhead, palms to touch, looking up. And exhaling the hands back to the heart. Releasing the hands down by the side. Congratulations, you just did your 2 rounds of sun salutation. So we are going to now go through it all again, but this time we're going to match the breath with the movement. So we did it a little bit there, more so in the second half. Oh, I'm out of breath myself actually from doing it all. But this time, when we do sun salutation, it's normally 1 movement per breath. So you inhale to reach the hands up, exhale to fall down. Inhale to halfway lift, exhale to fold. Inhale to step back to your lunge, exhale back to your downward dog. So we're going to go through it. We'll do it slowly, but you know, if you aren't able to keep up, that's fine. Just take an extra breath here and there. If you have your breaths mismatched, like nothing's going to go wrong. You will be more than fine. So it's more so to give you the idea of how to do it. If you aren't able to do it today, give it a go a couple of times, replay this video, practice along with it, and see, you will see, like, as you get more familiar with the poses, you'll be able to more quickly transition between them all. And also as you just build your strength and your cardiovascular strength, you will be able to, or cardiovascular capacity, probably a better word than strength, you'll find you'll be able to like move with the breath and the movements much more easily. So coming back to our main pose, feet hip distance, standing nice and tall, shoulders stacked over hips, stacked over ankles, looking forward. Just take an inhale here, exhaling. So inhale, bring the arms wide and overhead, palms to touch, looking up. Exhale, hinge at the hips as you lead with the chest to fold down. Hands reach to the mat. We'll inhale to lift halfway, hands come onto the shins, reaching for the crown of the head, chin tucked in, looking down. And exhale, folding down. Inhale, step back with the left leg as far as you can, lower the knee, lift the fingertips up. Exhale, reach the hands forward and down to the foot, to frame the foot, and stepping back whichever way to your downward facing dog. We'll inhale to shift forward into our plank, shoulders over wrists, hips in line with shoulders. Exhale, lower knees, belly, chest, all the way coming onto the mat. Elbows close to the body, toes untuck. Inhale, lifting the chest into cobra. Exhale, press into the hands to lift yourself through tabletop, hips come back, tuck under the toes, and come into your downward facing dog, lifting the hips to the ceiling. Inhale to look forward, step the left foot forward, drop the right knee, lift the fingertips up, squeezing the legs together. Exhale, lower the hands, stepping forward to your forward fold. Inhale, lifting halfway. Exhale, folding. Inhale, take the arms wide, bring them overhead, palms touching, looking up. And exhale, the hands back to the heart. I'm going to go straight into the second half of our sun salutation. Inhale, arms wide, inhale, overhead, palms touching. Exhale, hinge with the hips, folding down. Inhale to lift halfway, hands are on the shins. And exhale to fold. Inhale, step back with your right leg, lower the knee, lift the fingertips. Ooh, you might wobble along the way. And exhale, hands down to frame the foot, stepping back into downward facing dog. Inhale, shifting forward into your plank. Exhale, lower knees, belly, chest. pressing the tops of the feet into the mat. Inhale, lift the chest into cobra, elbows hugging the rib cage. Exhale, press into the hands, tuck under the toes as you send the hips back and up to your downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward, step the right foot forward, lower the left knee, lift the fingertips up. So all on your inhale. Exhale, lower the hands down, stepping forward. Inhale, lifting halfway. And exhale, folding. Inhale, bring that arms wide and overhead, palms touching, looking up. And exhaling the hands down to the heart. Let the hands rest down by the side. Maybe just taking a moment, closing your eyes. Congratulating yourself on working through your sun salutation. And if you found it hard to keep up with, just knowing that you can improve, you can come back to this as many times as you like. And also whatever way you practice it today is perfect for you today. Blink open the eyes. I hope you enjoyed that little tutorial breakdown of sun salutation. So that is like the basic version. You can also do like the next level up, I suppose, where you would do a high lunge instead of a low lunge. You can do upward facing dog instead of cobra. And you can do lower down through like it's called chaturanga, but like kind of doing a push-up basically, but just the lowering down part. But we won't go through that today. That might be another video. If you're just getting your bearings on sun salutation, this is definitely more than enough to get you going and keep you going for a while. So if you like this style of video, the more tutorial kind of style rather than a flowing class, please give it a like or comment below so I know and I can make more of these. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video and I will see you next time. Bye.